Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our AMA with BloodLoop. Hope you guys are all doing fantastic. Today we've got Pascal coming over to speak about BloodLoop. So, Pascal, just start things off. Can you introduce yourself and the rest of the team behind the scenes of BloodLoop?
Sure thing. First of all, thank you guys for having me up here. It's a pleasure to speak with you and with your community. I'm Pasquale. Pascal is completely fine. I believe it's the English pronunciation of my name, so it's completely good with that. And I'm CEO and co-founder at 7 Digital Labs. 7DL is the software house and gaming studio working on BloodLoop as a product. And BloodLoop is our first gaming product that we're releasing on the market. 7DL is a legally incorporated company based in Switzerland. We have founded the company back in 2021, although the incorporation process took us some time and we are legally incorporated. If you go and look out for the paper of the company from April of 2022. We've been working on BloodLoop for the past few years. We're currently a team of 25, including the core team and all of the developers, 3D artists, concept artists, animators, and everything that you need to create a video game.
Fantastic, amazing. Well, it's great to meet you. Great to have you on. Do appreciate the introduction. So, talk us through BloodLoop. So how did the name BloodLoop actually come about? It's a very specific name, not something that you hear typically in this crypto space. Everything is usually following a trend. So how did the name BloodLoop come about and kind of what inspired its creation?
So the name BloodLoop actually comes directly from the lore of the game. Basically, the main component, the main aspect of the game, at least about the game story itself, is that the planet Earth found and discovered a gem whose color is actually red, like blood. That gem had unique powers that allowed users to, the human Earths and Earthlings to rewind time all around that gem. The humans started to extract energy from that gem to basically advance technologically. But sadly, something went extremely wrong and planet Earth basically blew up and humans had to escape from that planet. Coming from the fact that the gem has the ability to rewind time and create a loop around it and its color is red, there comes the name BloodLoop.
Amazing. It's always good to have names that actually have meaning behind them and that actually have like a storyline behind them. We've had a few projects on before that, kind of have followed down a similar path. And it's always good to see. Like I said earlier, a lot of the stuff you see in this space is very rinse and repeat and following trends and stuff. So the fact that you guys actually have, a proper backstory behind the name, also, it's all about inspiring that kind of deep thinking about projects, especially with the nature of your utility and such. We'll dive into it in a second. But it's good to know that, it makes people think. What is BloodLoop? What's that? Oh, and they go down the rabbit hole of, all this stuff. Sorry. So before we talk about the actual game and everything, it has to offer, I'm curious to know why you guys decided to go down the pre-sale route instead of like a fair launch or a stealth launch.
Sure. So let's start with the fact that we basically are funded. So we raised funds at the beginning of the creation of the company. We raised in total about $1 million that we used so far for the development of the product, for the legal incorporation of the company, for, of course, to pay salaries to our developers, artists, and so on, and to bootstrap marketing and the initial campaigns for the game. We are currently undergoing another financing round, which will provide us with about $3.5 million in equity, in funding coming from an equity round. So we're not diluting tokens anymore. But we felt like we wanted to engage with communities and investors to provide users with an entry point also into the token rather than just into the ecosystem as a gamer, because it's very important to have dedicated communities which are interested also in the price and how the token goes and how the economic model works, and getting in some speculative users that might also be interested into the game. The special sale offers people the opportunity to get an entry price way well below the actual IDO price. We're talking about more or less a 40% discount compared to the IDO price. So you're getting tokens at 0.055 cent per the tokens are priced 0.055 cent per token. They are launching at 0.09 cent per token. And of course, the launch will be a very big event. We are going to be launching first on decentralized exchanges, but soon after on centralized exchanges, starting from Maxi and then going for Bybit and KuCoin. So we're targeting the big markets, and we wanted to make sure that people could have an entry well below that, that price action.
Amazing. So you mentioned that you managed to raise over $1 million in, I guess the pre-private, I guess. That's not like a small number in any way, and it's definitely not an easy number to achieve, especially privately. So how did you guys go about raising that much money, and what kind of avenues? Was it just like angel investors, venture capitals? How did that work?
So we did raise an angel round, and then we went for a seed round. The angel round was completely filled up by a single investor, which was a lifelong friend of ours. His name is Andrea Ruscica. He's one of the most famous Italian entrepreneur, founder of Alte Federation. Alte Federation is an Italian conglomerate with over 30 subsidiary companies, and basically over 14,000 employees. They work as an IT consultant and generally in the IT business, with companies like Ferrari, Lamborghini, Maserati, Louis Vuitton. So basically all the big brands in the luxury field, they are working for them as their main IT consultant and resource. Andrea itself is a very successful entrepreneur with over 15 exits in his portfolio, and he wanted to diversify in Web3 as well. And we were his first choice because he knew us. He knew that we could pull off with the product and could execute what we were promising. Therefore, he was the one that helped us bootstrap the company. He also joined the board as an advisor, and he's part of the advisory team without any advisor allocation for him, though, because he just wanted to help us out. And he provides us with loads of connection that are always helpful in terms of making sure that the product is developed in the right way. Apart from that, we then raised actually three tickets, but I can only disclose two because one is under NDA in the seed round, which led us to be raising the $1 million amount. Each token each location is worth 200,000, and the allocation I can disclose are coming from BloodZilla and Chateau, two private investors, VC firms focused in the Web3 space. BloodZilla particularly in the Web3 gaming, while Chateau generally in Web3.
Amazing. Well, it's not every day that we hear, top investors and top entrepreneurs joining crypto, teams. I guess it's very, very rare. But yeah, congratulations for that, and I'm sure it's definitely a huge, accomplishment for you guys, especially so early on. But so from my understanding, let's just dive into the game a little bit. BloodLoop is a first-person shooter game that leverages Web3 technology. So by the looks of it, one of the most important aspects of your game is the NFTs, which will kind of serve as the avatars or heroes in the game. So in your white paper, it says that they can be crafted, but they're both limited in number. So how exactly will that work? Will you need an NFT to kind of play the game and have an avatar hero?
So to play the game is completely free. You just need to download it, and it will be available on the major game stores like Epic Game Store and Steam. So you can just download Steam or Epic Game Store and download the game. We're going for this route in terms of free-to-play and those launcher. First of all, because free-to-play games are currently the one receiving most of the heat from the market, because people are willing to try out new products without committing their funds into them, whether you're Web 2 or Web 3. And at the same time, the Steam and Epic Games route allows us to get into the major distribution chains, and at the same time making sure that people will never have to download stuff directly from our website, which is very shady and I advise not to do, because lately there's been going on a lot of drainers and scams going on with games and beta sales and beta test of games. You download them and you get your wallet drained, and boom, it's over. You lost all of your funds. To iterate on the NFT, yes, you can craft NFTs in game. So let me kind of break through how it works. Each and every time you play a game in BloodLoop, at the end of that match, you will be receiving material shards. Those materials can be crafted into actual materials, so whole materials. Both shards and materials are NFTs. And those materials can then be turned into skins. When you go to the Forge, which is basically the crafting point inside the BloodLoop sub, you will be seeing available blueprints for crafting that can be made. Each and every blueprint has a maximum set of usages, which means that not everyone in the game can craft everything, and not everyone in the game can obtain all the materials. This leads to a situation where, for example, a very cool skins drops, and we have a 50,000 user player base, but only 1,000 items can be crafted. It means that if you are one of those 1,000 people that managed to craft that skin, you have a very high chance to be able to sell that skin to someone else, because there is huge demand, but there's a very small offer. The algorithm deciding how many pieces are dropping and how the materials are being distributed is very well calibrated in order to make sure that people with already some materials in their inventory can receive the missing ones that they need to craft a particular item. So you're not forced to always trade with users, and you can make your own endeavors inside of the game. And the amount and the drops, the amount of NFTs that can be crafted is calculated based on the active player base, the demands for previous and similar skins, and how the materials are distributed on the market, so that we can easily manage to figure out what's the correct number of skins to drop, so that it will be a success both for the skin and for the people crafting it. You can sell the skins internally on the marketplace. We have an internal in-game marketplace that doesn't pop up a web browser, which is very important to mention because we are one of the first games to build a completely decentralized auction house inside of a game, which is working inside the actual game without the need of external plugins, external browser, or any type of stuff. And people can buy and sell skins using the game token, which is the BloodLoop shard. Basically, you can buy the skin of someone else, and we collect only a very small fee of that purchase, which we partially use to get tokens that we can then reinvest into the ecosystem and partially distribute to the stakers and the in-game users as form of rewards, so that we can keep the economy going and reward people without being, a play-to-earn game, because we really hate that kind of style and term and definition.
Fantastic. I mean, you really covered a couple of the questions I had in mind, especially in terms of the marketplace and where these, heroes and stuff can be traded. So it's actually what I really like personally. Now, I played CSGO a little bit here and there, and their CS2 update just came out. And I was still like, the Steam marketplace is great and all. Like, you can trade pretty much everything, but it feels very, very outdated and very old. And the ability to kind of, trade the items within your internal marketplace in the game itself is very, very, advanced in terms of, Steam games, especially. I mean, you literally said you're one of the first games to build an entirely, a standalone marketplace within the game, which I personally love, to be honest, because a lot of the time when I want to Look, gaming is all about user enjoyment, right? It's all about the user experience. And what I found with CSGO is that whenever you want to buy a case or buy a skin or even open a case, you have to go to Steam, you have to top up your Steam account, and then go through PayPal or your card provider, and then you have to go back to the game. You have to then click buy for the key that you want or the case that you want, and then you have to go back on the Steam marketplace to buy and pay for the skin using the funds you just topped up. And then you have to go back into the game to use it. So it sounds complicated, because it is, and I hate it. But the fact that you can, buy and sell and trade completely within the game with no pop-up browser or anything, personally for me, that's one of the key selling points for me personally. It's really, really cool. So I do commend you guys on that. So, in terms of your heroes, right? You guys are releasing 12 initial heroes, correct?
Yeah, the goal for the early access version will be to feature at least 12 heroes, whilst the beta version coming out at the end of this year will be featuring 5 heroes just to kickstart the testing of the game. The number of heroes is not only 12 though, as we're looking forward to increasing the number all the way to at least 26 different heroes, and that's probably going to be the initial stopping point for a while, because of course then we will be overcrowding the different selection that people can make. Going down into heroes, each and every hero has 3 unique abilities. 2 of them are low reload times, multiple time usable abilities, and the other one is the ultimate, which takes quite longer to reload, but at the same time is quite more powerful than the other two spells. And the really important part is that each and every hero doesn't really have any kind of overpowered skills. We really took balancement as one of the biggest issue and one of the biggest problem to face whilst building the game, because we really wanted to make sure that the experience was as smooth as possible. And basically the true strength of heroes are not the individual heroes themselves, but how they work together in synergy inside of maps. Also, another thing I wanted to mention, which is not relevant to the heroes, but it's relevant to the discussion we were having before in terms of marketplace. We are building everything on the Avalanche blockchain, which allows us to use the Avalanche subnets. Subnets are a side chain, which are basically application specific. Making it short, we have our own custom blockchain, which is linked to the Avalanche mainnet. And the cool part is that we can completely edit and change the VM architecture and the actual blockchain code. And what we did is rather unique. We implemented a gas fee relayer, which basically, making it very, very easy to understand, removes any gas fee payments for the end user. So you get into the game, you get to play, you get your heroes, you get your skins, you want to play the game, you will never, ever have to pay for a gas fee to play the game. And that's a very important thing because, you know, our goal is to onboard Web2 users rather than just getting the low amount of Web3 users that there are in the ecosystem. Because overall, a gamer is a gamer. And if we build the right game and if we build the right product and we make it so that it's very seamless to use, then you will get mass adoption. And everything and everyone in the ecosystem will benefit from that, starting from the token appreciating all the way to the actual game gathering thousands and thousands of users and being one of a kind, unique, fun experience whilst playing.
Just touching on what you said in terms of what was I saying? Oh my God, I just completely lost my train of thought. Wow. Okay, I'll try and think of it again. We'll move on to my next question. So the game will offer 3 modes to players, right? TDM, FFA, and Energy War. So for those that don't know, can you explain what these game modes are and how will they work?
Yes, so the Energy War is our lead flagship game mode. It's basically a completely custom new game mode that we created from scratch, which is a mixture between a capture the flag game mode and a plant the bomb style game mode. So basically, the goal of that game mode is to create, to steal and capture the enemy seed of energy. That energy seed can be then transported to your base and planted to grow up and basically create a plant that can export the same type of energy that you were exporting from the jam. If you manage to get the seed to sprout completely, then you won the round. When you're transporting the seed, which is basically a flag or a bomb, or you want to call it, it's very slow. Your hero gets very slow, and basically your movement gets reduced by 60%, which leads to the fact that you really need to get your team to protect you, and the team synergy are very important. Once you plant the seed, it's like a reverse plant the bomb. Your goal is to basically defend the bomb until it explodes, even though you stole it from the enemy team. And then team are switching sides each and every round to make sure that the game is balanced between attackers and defenders. The team deathmatch and the free-for-all game modes are the standard ones. So basically, team deathmatch is 5 versus 5. The team with most kill wins, and free-for-all is everyone against everyone in an 8-person lobby, and the one with the more kill wins.
So I just remembered my previous question from our last topic. So in terms of the gasless transactions, is that then utilizing wallet signatures instead?
No, they are actual transactions and they are being signed and stored on chain, but we have a gas fee relayer that basically allow us to control how the gas fees are being paid. Basically, subnets are you can think of them as like parallel chains to the Avalanche mainnet. We have a set of validators that brings the transaction from the subnet to the mainnet and inscribes the transaction on the Avalanche mainnet. And they do that instantly, so you don't have to wait for a block to be free. So we have less than 1 second time to finality. The transactions are perceived as instant, and we have no gas fees. And the consensus algorithm is one of the most advanced one, which is even more safe than the consensus algorithm that you have on Bitcoin, because the Avalanche algorithm is like probably the most secure one in terms of the Nakamoto coefficient. So basically, we're working on one of the best chains, and we have possibly one of the best blockchain architecture that you could find. Of course, we are going to be multi-chain because we want to make sure that people on other chains can appreciate the game anyways. Like if you hate Avalanche and you don't want to bridge over there, that's fine. You can play it from Polygon, you can play it from Arbitrum, you can play it from possibly even Ethereum at some point, BNB chain, Telos. We are making the game available for everyone. The only downside that you will have is that on other chains, you will have to pay for gas fees because we can't control that. And the only way that we would have to making sure that you would only have to sign transaction is to import your private keys into the game. And people really don't want to do that. So in those cases, you will have to pay for gas fees. But the NFTs are cross-chain compatible because we built everything using layer 0 technology. And the liquidity pools of the token will be available on multiple chains, or you can just trade the token on centralized exchanges, as we are launching on Maxi, Bybit, and KuCoin, and many other exchanges as we go live with the token.
Fantastic. So about the specifically the energy war game mode. So you mentioned that it's essentially like a bit of to me it sounds like it's a little bit like CS:GO, right? Except that you need to steal the bomb from the enemy and then plant it and then blow up. Is that right?
Yeah, more or less, it's like that. Although the game mode also has other kind of features and elements added to that are being implemented as we speak, in terms of when you plant the bomb, what happens around it, how you have to defend it, how you have to synergize to make sure that you get to plant it. But yeah, if you're familiar with game like CSGO or Valorant, it's kind of the same, although you have added steps, and it makes the experience much more dynamic and fun, at least in our experience with what we had with testing so far. And trust me, we do test the game quite a bit. I spend at least 2 to 3 hours a day playing BloodLoop just to make sure that everything looks fine to me.
Fantastic. So actually speaking about the game modes as well, and the heroes as well, you mentioned each of them have 3 unique abilities. Is that 3 unique abilities per hero?
Yeah, it's 3 unique abilities each and every hero.
Okay, and are they, well, obviously they're 3 unique, so I'm not going to make you go through every unique ability for every hero, but just generally, what are some unique abilities that will be included in that?
So let me talk about the Rogue, which is one of our first hero that we implemented in the game. She's an assassin, so it means that she has skills that will make her be as stealth as possible whilst playing the game. One of her abilities, which is her second ability in the kit, allows her to become invisible for 3 seconds unless she shoots, and she has a cooldown before becoming invisible and a cooldown after she becomes invisible. Then there's the Q for the Rug, which is basically a stabbing ability, which allows us to deal damage in your nearby area, stabbing the enemies around and in front of herself, so she can become invisible, come behind you, and the stabbing dealt on your back are twice more powerful than the stabbing that she can do if she stabs you on the front. And then there's her ultimate, which allows her to become to see the enemies on the map and teleport behind them. The enemies that are getting the teleport behind gets a notification about 0.5 seconds before you actually spawn behind them, so that they have some sort of advantage from the fact that you are basically getting behind their back and you could kill them right away. But at the same time, if you are skilled enough to use the ability whilst that enemy is maybe engaging in a gunfight against another hero, you might get the opportunity to close him up and sandwich him up and kill him more easily than you would do normally. There are, again, each and every hero has its own abilities. So as you said, going through each one of them will take plenty of time. But the kits are very variegated and very diversified. And there's no hero with similar ability to others. We made sure that the experience, which with every hero, was very, very unique and customized.
Fantastic, amazing. Well, personally, I can't wait to play the game. To be honest with you, okay. So we'll move on to my next question. How does the leveling and kind of reward system work for the game?
So we have a set of different reward systems set up in place into BloodLoop. The first system basically is revolving around the actual battle pass. So if you are familiar with Fortnite, or even Counter-Strike added a battle pass and many other games, then you know what a battle pass is. We have a free level for the battle pass and paid levels. If the free levels can be completed over the course of a season, the more you play, the more you unlock stuff. Of course, you don't unlock everything because some levels are reserved to the people actually buying the battle pass. The stuff that you can unlock from a battle pass are free crafting tokens that allows you to create free NFTs without paying for the token fee. So you can get started in the economy even if you don't want to commit any initial funding. Additionally, you can get skins, you can get titles, you can get name changes, effects on kills, a very large set of cosmetics and animation and stuff, stickers, sprays, so a lot of different things. Additionally, we have another level of in-game progression, which is related to your ranking. So of course, we do have a very important competitive system built into the game because we truly believe that esports and generally speaking rankings is very crucial to the success of a game, because you get people interested into making it sure that they are the strongest one, the most skilled ones, and they want to get better and better, and they spend more time playing in the game, and you basically get involved as much as possible in the product. With that ranking system, we have different ranks that people can scale, and we have leaderboards. If you are in the top leaderboards, every month we will be distributing rewards in tokens to everyone who is basically the most skilled users in the game. So again, even if you don't want to commit initially into the ecosystem financially, you can just play and play and play and play. And if you're strong enough and you get into the leaderboard, so you win enough, you will be getting rewarded for that. That's the only type of direct rewards in tokens that we give out to users, because we truly believe in incentivizing the will to get better rather than just playing the game and spamming games, maybe even trolling just to get rewards.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you there. I mean, I really do stand by the fact that, you see so many like play to earn games, and I really don't like that kind of, model personally, because, you don't want to be encouraging people to play by, offering them, financial incentives, right? You want to be offering them a game that they genuinely enjoy, and a game that they want to play because it's fun, not for the reason of it makes them money or they get rewards, right? Which is what I like about what you guys are doing. You're building an actual game. You're not building, a financial tool, I guess, or a way for people to, make money, even though that is kind of, also part of the game. But I like how you're primarily focusing it on being a Web 2 game, I guess, that attracts Web 2 people, but that's also integrated into Web 3 and using all these different blockchain systems. Personally, I think that is, just what the space needs in terms of GameFi.
Indeed. We always like to say that we are not a Web3 game, but we are a Web3 integrated game. Because Web3 is not a genre, it's a feature. Like co-op or multiplayer is a feature to a game. So we should not market your whole product based on the fact that you're a Web3 product. You should market your product around the fact that the game is good, the game is playable, the game is fun, and Web3 is just a tool for the users to get more exposure in the game that they're playing, and to leverage the time that they spend playing, and to reward them and monetize them. Of course, the token is crucial to the ecosystem, and it's placed in a way that people will be using the token even if they don't know they are. Like, you will get in League of Legends, you will buy Riot points and you will buy a skin with that, You can use your credit card, get into the game, and buy tokens. You're buying them as if they were the game token, but you're actually buying the token, and you're committing and inflating the price of the token. And then you're spending the tokens to buy whatever you want in game, and you will never know you use crypto. But at the same time, you holders willingly and knowingly capable of understanding what crypto is and how crypto works, you will be benefiting of that because you were holding tokens. And that guy, that user that didn't really know what crypto is but just wanted the skin, just say, let's say, pump your bags. And those tokens are coming back to us and then reinvested into the ecosystem because he bought a skin, maybe. So the whole making sure that the game works for Web2 is crucial for the success of the economic side of the game itself, and also for the early investors and for the people being in the product early. And we're doing our best to make sure that the community and the investors and the holders will always get the best benefits from being part of the product, whilst at the same time the gamers, the one just being inside of the game, gets the best experience for playing.
Fantastic, amazing. Yeah, I really stand behind that model, honestly. The fact that you're trying to be a Web3 integrated game is, one of my favorite things, I guess, about you guys so far. So on your website, there's something called factions, but there at the moment, there's no information about it. Nothing else that's been written like anywhere. So I'm assuming it's is it like a guild or like a clan where people can like team up?
Yeah.
But how will that work, and what is that?
Yeah, so let's break it down in 2 points. Faction, first of all, are basically part of the lore of the game. We have 4 factions in the game. Each and every one of them has unique capabilities and elements added to them. And basically, when you're playing the game, you will notice that even the heroes have very different styles between them, but there are certain heroes which are kind of similar to each other based on the colors, or how their conformation is, like how their body is made or stuff like that. That's because they're part of the same faction. Factions are divided among how they want to leverage the use of the gems energy inside of the new planet where Planet Earth escaped to, and they're fighting against each other, and they build up the BloodLoop, so these arenas where they can fight each other without having the risk of destructing the planet because of their fights. And that's the faction lore side of things. But then we have the guilds, which are basically the in-game factions that people can create. Guilds are association of people that can be created by the end user. Basically, they are clans, like you will see them in Clash of Clans, or guilds like you will see them in World of Warcraft or games like that. And you can invite your friends into your guilds. To create a guild, you have to commit a certain amount of token. You are not spending them, but you are staking them. So you are removing them from circulation. And as long as the guild is created, those tokens will stay staked and earn a passive reward for the guild being open in the ecosystem. People can join your guild and then can boost that guild. So guilds can be boosted in a sense that people can stake tokens inside of the guild and boost it for a certain amount of time. When you boost the guild automatically enters the guild leaderboards. Once you are in the leaderboards, you are competing against other guilds based on the total MMR of your guild. So basically, all the rankings of all the people in your guild adds up, and the stronger your guild is, the higher you're placing yourself in the leaderboard. And at the end of each month, we are also rewarding the strongest guilds. A percentage of the tokens sent to a guild are being kept by the guild leaders, and they can use that to bootstrap activities, to invite new users, maybe bribe the best players to join their guild because so they will be earning more the next month, or even pay for events. So maybe we have an real life tournament, you want to send your players to that. You can use the amount you're earning as a guild to pay for the expenses, the travel, and stuff like that. So we are kind of also fostering with those guilds a decentralized esport model where teams can pop up at any time, and you don't really have to figure out how to get in the placement, how to get in the leagues, how to get the sponsorships and stuff like that, because the game is kind of sponsoring the guild itself as it goes live in the game. And of course, it's a very big system, sorry to interrupt you, to remove token from circulation. because people staking are staking with a V tokenomic system. So you're staking the tokens for a long periods of time, and you cannot unstake them unless you want to lose all the benefits that you've earned. So basically, the goal with that is to get people to buy tokens, stake them, remove them from circulation for a long period of time, and the token that are still circulating will easily get higher in price because of the fact that the supply is going down and down and down, and we cannot mint tokens. We don't have a mint function in the contracts.
Of course, yeah. And I mean, one of the most important parts here as well is that the tokens in game, they're what are called shards, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
Yeah. So the fact that they're not called tokens, but they're called shards, as if they're like, you know, just a regular old game, like in-game currency. From a personal standpoint, I mean, from what it looks like, it's to someone that's just, you know, come to play the game, right? It's not someone that will be like, oh, what's that? Well, that's a crypto. Oh, it's a token. What is a blockchain? You know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, they're on the blockchain, right? But because of the gasless transactions, you know, people, I guess, they just don't know that it's actually, you know, blockchain and Web3 integrated until they dive deeper into the utilities and kind of the back end systems of, you know, how the project actually runs and how the game actually works. Sorry. And I think that's a really, really important factor, because you don't want to be like you were saying earlier, you don't want to be a Web3 game. You want to be a Web3 integrated game. And the fact that the in-game, you know, currency is marketed as just like a normal in-game currency is very, very, you know, very, very important. And I like that model a lot. And you answered a lot of my questions kind of through your explanation. So I'll move on to my next question. Before we discuss the tokenomics of the so-called shards, or the token actually itself, we'll talk about your upcoming pre-sale a little bit, right? So at the bottom of the Gempad listing, it says that these are dummy tokens and are not claimable, which might be a bit confusing for some people. So how will the pre-sale work, and how will that kind of, you know, I guess, work?
So we don't really want people to have the hassle of going onto the website and claiming their stuff, because most of the times people get scammed. So you can see copycats links going around, people having not doing enough research, and they just connect their wallet somewhere, and they lose their assets. So instead of going for the claim model, we're going for the airdrop model. So if you hold the dummy token, you will be receiving a proportional amount to that dummy token once the TGE goes live, and it will be directly reflected in your wallet. You don't have to manually go and claim that. And that makes sure that everyone is fairly getting their share at the same time. They're not risking their assets. They're not connecting their wallet anywhere. We are taking the full responsibility of airdropping those tokens into their wallets, and they can then trade them off or use them in game or do whatever they want to do with those tokens. In terms of the Gempad sale, we do have a vesting schedule, which is 10% at launch, then a month of cliff, and then it's 18% per month. That's calculated based on the game release. So basically, you're unlocking most of your tokens before the game goes live. The game being live event is a huge pump event for the token itself, because as we go live, we will be listing on major exchanges, and we will be hosting a lot of trading competition. The volumes will go way, way up, and we will do a lot of market making in that sense. So basically, you will be unlocking your token before the big event. At that point, you can decide to sell us off if you want to, and if you want to take a profit, or you can stay in the ecosystem and get the whole appreciation, and the game goes live, and we onboard more and more users. But we give you the opportunities to do so, and we make sure that you guys can take your profit in a good way. Of course, we hope that you are going to be staying within the ecosystem, and we will do our best to keep you inside of it. But yeah, so we want to reward people committing early enough and staking in, locking their funds for a kind of long period of time, which is not very long, but it's 3 to 4 months, and people in a bear market might use those funds.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't mind that kind of model right now at the moment. I mean, like you said, it's a bear market. People are, I guess a little bit less up for locking their tokens for a while, considering how the market is. But you have to think of it as a different way, right? You have to think of it from the other perspective. instead of holding your ETH or BNB or whatever token you might hold, and just watching the amount kind of flow up and down through the bear market. It personally, it's a bit like, I guess obviously there's risks involved in investing in every project, but I'd rather put a couple $1,000 or a little bit of money into a project that I feel will do well, and reap the rewards over the next coming months. Because I mean, you have to think of it this way as well. Like, the price of Ethereum right now is not as high as it used to be, right? I mean, ETH's all-time high is like what, $4,500. So the tokens that you could buy now for this price at the current ETH price may be a lot more than what ETH is in a couple months, for example. Even if the token doesn't launch for the next 4 months, for example, you're still trading that same amount of ETH for the same amount of tokens. Whereas if you were to buy those tokens after the public launch, even if the value of the token remains the same, the value of ETH has changed. So realistically, you might still make money in that sense. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing for people. I'm really sorry. I kind of did a whole U-turn around the whole point. But what I'm trying to say is, I like the slow revenue. The slow distribution of these vested tokens, because it means that you're more likely to make money throughout the bear market. Once the bull market does hopefully come around at the beginning of next year, those BloodLoop tokens will be worth a lot more, hopefully.
Indeed, you really got the point.
Fantastic. Well, we'll move on to tokenomics. So I know not much information has been released yet around the tokenomics, but I'm sure many people are curious as to what the supply distribution or token allocation, along with tax and liquidity. So if you could touch on that and share what you're able to right now, that'd be great.
Yeah, so we will have our full tokenomics out tomorrow morning on our Discord, Telegram, and Twitter page. So you'll be able to check out all the distribution sheets and everything before the pre-sale goes live. So it's going to be easier for you guys to check it out, as token numbers here will be pretty hard to remember even 15 minutes after. What I can tell you though is that we have no tax on the token, so you are not getting any buy or sell tax, and the market cap at launch will be under $500,000 without accounting for the liquidity that we're having. We're basically launching with over 98% of the supply completely locked, and the first unlocks are coming by only after 3 to 6 months after launch. So basically we will not see major inflation at any point, and we have a very well-defined economic system to make sure that the inflation stays under less than 1% per month once we get in a full inflating period, all the way up until the supply cap, which is 350 million tokens. An additional thing that I can say is that we sold less than 7% of the total supply for raising funds, so that we don't have too many dumpers on board, and we don't have to worry about VCs dumping the tokens or people dumping the tokens just because they want to take profit. And that the total liquidity will be way much more than what we actually have raised, because we have liquidity partners that will support us and make sure that we have depth on centralized exchanges and enough liquidity on decentralized exchanges for the token to be traded successfully.
Amazing, fantastic. Well, I'm excited to hear when those details come out tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll update the community about that as well. So another question that I've got is, I don't know about everyone else. I'm sure they're just as eager to play the game as I am. But when can we expect the beta testing to begin? And when can people expect the game to launch?
So the first beta testing phase of the game will be in December of this year, and we're launching a registration campaign basically right after the sale goes out. You can register yourself and pre-lock in your username, and at the same time get the ability to play the game as we enroll users inside of the beta. The beta will last all the way until February, and in February, end of February, we will be launching the game on Epic Games Store. After that, we're also going to be launching on Steam, although Steam timelines are still a bit shaky because Steam is not as supportive as Epic Games Store for Web3 integrated games as of now.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how we're going to get approved on Steam. Are you guys in contact with them at the moment? Have you consulted with their teams at the
Yeah,
moment?
we are always in touch with both of the launchpads, sorry, the marketplaces. For Steam is the only thing that they don't like is that if you perform API calls that interact with the blockchain from their servers. So as long as you have your own game server, you are actually fine to launch on Steam, but they do have to run an approval process. For Epic Game Store, as long as you don't have any gambling product inside of your game that are making it so that people are gambling real money whilst playing the game, then your game can be listed on the marketplace.
Fantastic, great. Well, good to hear that we've at least got some hope with Steam, because I'm very excited to get that downloaded. So I can see that you guys have a pretty detailed roadmap in your white paper that spans all the way to like 2025. So can you quickly just touch on its 6 different phases and explain what's already been done and what people can expect and timeline of things?
Yeah, so the main key points of our roadmap and what we are looking forward right now are, of course, the beta launch, the early access launch, and then the user onboarding phase. We look forward for now launching the beta access. The beta access launch will be done in collaboration with a set of over 30 content creators, all in the Web2 and Web3 gaming. They will be making over 120 pieces of content over the span of 2 weeks, working around the game, creating tournaments, playing with each other, playing by themselves, and creating a lot of content that we can share both on Twitter, YouTube, and then create vertical contents that we can share on TikTok and Instagram to use the Explore feature of Reels and TikToks to gather Web2 user base. Once we are live on Epic Games Store, the major setbacks or the major objectives that we have is to reach basically 50,000 user base goal. 50,000 users will be for us that user base where we are possibly profitable and we don't need any additional funding to make sure that the company keeps on running. So it's very important for us to reach that goal. To do so, we will be running a lot of advertisement, a lot of campaigns, and majorly we will going to be signing ambassador deals with content creators, streamers, and YouTubers to get them to play weekly the game and stream it, and you can make YouTube videos about it, so that gamers will actually be interested in trying out the game, and everything will feature a referral system for those YouTubers and streamers, and even for the people in game to invite their friends and be rewarded for that. After the game is live and we collect users, the goal will be to release additional content. First and foremost, every month we will be dropping out new heroes and new maps so that the game and the content in the game grows and grows and grows, and everyone can have as much fun as possible whilst playing a very dynamic game. And then after that, we're going to be releasing more content around the game modes, implementing quick game modes like arcade game mode that come and goes as time goes by, so people can diversify a bit their game style. So in general, until 2025, but even after that, we have a very long content release plan to make sure that the game stays entertaining for the end user, the economy stays vibrant and dynamic, and that people still have fun playing and enjoying the game.
Great. Well, that actually leads me on to my next question. From what I've seen in the past, most gaming tokens, I mean, we've seen it with, I won't drop names, but a big KingPad launch that happened a few months ago, early this year. They struggle to balance the growth of their token with the player base, right? Which never really ends very well. So BloodLoop is obviously a bit different because of the game's economy, but without a good-sized active player base, price action is usually pretty slow. So from the looks of it, you guys have marketing covered on the investor side, but the player side might be a bit more, a more strategic approach. So, for example, in the gaming communities or collaborative streamers. So on the player side, what have you guys got planned in terms of marketing the token? I know you touched on this briefly earlier, but if you could just kind of summarize that.
So in terms of marketing of the token, we look forward playing a lot the attention game. So, if your game is successful and we can market the fact that we got, for example, 50,000 signups, 100,000 signups, 250,000 users playing, or whatever it is, you can really push the token and the narrative around the token by a lot. Because we all know that Web3 really runs on the speculation, on the hype, and on how people are perceiving your token and how people are perceiving how you can actually grow. So our main focus will still be growing the product, because the token will grow parallel if you can drive the right narrative around your token. Of course, we will be performing a lot of marketing activities around the token as well, particularly using exchanges. So centralized exchanges, trading competitions, holding competitions, and everything that can drive volume to the token. Listings every time we can get a new listing done. And then we have all the forms of staking and incentivizing of holding and staking the token for liquidity that will provide you with rewards that will make sure that we always have a healthy buy pressure and generally speaking volume action on the token.
Fantastic, perfect. Well, I do hope you guys manage to pull that off and bring over those Web2 people into the crypto community. Because not only that, not only will it be beneficial for you guys, but in crypto in general, it's always good to have new people come along into the space, and it's really a whole entirely different world over here on the Web3 side, and it can definitely be something people might spark interest to and be more involved in the crypto space themselves. So this is maybe a question that should have been asked a bit earlier, but taking into account the NFT and kind of crafting aspects, will BloodLoop be pay to win in any kind of way? Will there be any kind of
no, right away, no, hard no. We have no pay to win functionalities at all. Because I feel like it's unfair, even particularly in a space where there's a lot of money going around. People should not have the ability to buy up their ticket to the winning rounds. That's very wrong, in my opinion. So no, absolutely no pay to win functionalities.
Yeah, and I mean I agree as well. So it's good to know that. So we're nearing the end of our questions here, and I'm also conscious of time. I don't want to run over too quickly, but have you guys been audited and KYC'd by anyone right now?
Yeah, we are audited and KYC'd by Assure DeFi. The audit from Assure started first of all around the token, and then we will be audited as well for all the in-game contracts as we go live with the game. And the KYC is done to our CEO and lead of the company, which is Luca. But if you want to get information on ourselves as well, the company is completely public. You can Google up BloodLoop and you will be finding our LinkedIn page with all the employees and all the people relevant. If you Google up my name, you will find a lot of interviews that I've did. I've been a panelist for the Avalanche Summit and for the both in Barcelona and in New York, speaking about GameFi, Web3 gaming, and the future of this ecosystem, and BloodLoop as well. So we are pretty much doxed to the public as much as possible because we truly believe in what we're building, and we have nothing to hide in terms of that. And you can also just find the company information, incorporation, registration, and everything like that. Everything is completely public.
Amazing. Fantastic. Well, before we start our community questions and our Kahoot trivia, just to kind of summarize everything from a personal standpoint, Pascale, why would you personally consider BloodLoop as a good product to be a part of? Not only on the investor Web3 side, but on the player side as well. And where do you see the game months after its release?
So, of course, what I'm going to say is pretty much biased from the fact that, I've been dealing with this product for the past 2 years and a half. But I consider myself a very level-headed and objective person. So I know our weak points and I know our strong points. And I know that we're building a product that will definitely place itself among the wider indie gamers and FPS and TPS gamer community, because I've seen games worse than ours with worse marketing and worse product being very successful and dealing and being in the leaderboards and being in the top played games for quite a while. So I know that us, with our product and our capability to execute and our connections and with everything we've done so far, we can definitely engage and get that user base that we need to make sure that the game is going. As an investor, I will possibly find BloodLoop interesting and promising based on the premise of growth. Again, if I invest in a product where I know that money will come flowing in just for the product, just because the product will be successful and people will play the game, then I know that I will be in a position where I entered early into an ecosystem that will definitely eat up a lot of access, because it will get a lot of money and a lot of cash flow inside of the actual ecosystem based on how the economic model works. Of course, everything I'm saying is an NFA. I'm not trying to make any kind of financial advice for anyone. What I'm trying to say is that we build the ecosystem about the point of getting money in with people not even knowing that they're putting them into a crypto asset. So you that are aware that you are holding a crypto asset will definitely benefit from that. I can't guarantee you any kind of profit. I cannot guarantee you any kind of success, of course, but I'm capable and I can guarantee you that the team will pull off what they're building, and the team is going to make sure that the success of the product is guaranteed. Because of course we want to make sure that everything goes fine. We have dealt and we have put all of our life into this for the past 2 years, and it's living a dream for us, and we want to make sure that the dreams keep on going because we know that we can keep it on going.
Fantastic. Well, obviously, nothing is financial advice. Obviously, even our AMAs are not endorsing projects, but to give developers and teams like yourself, a place to kind of pitch their projects, really get it out there and really show people everything that you have to offer. Amazing. Well, I think we'll move on to our community questions part of the AMA. So if you have any questions, drop your questions below in the comment section. Give you guys just a moment to drop them below in the comment section of the last post. So I'm not going to make a new post. Already we have tons of questions flowing in. Fantastic.
Man, I'm seeing them. There's so many.
Yeah, well, obviously we're not going to have time to answer all of these questions, but I will skim through and see which ones catch my eye. Actually, the first question is a pretty good one. Greed asks, would there be any... Okay, sorry, my Telegram is bugging out because there's so many questions. Sorry. So Greed asks, would there be any bug bounties involved in the beta testing? If any, what's the specific scope of the bug bounty program within BloodLoop? Which aspects of the game, including NFT-related functionalities, are included in the scope?
There will be bug bounties. It's going to be mainly done for in-game bugs and for blockchain-related integration bugs. The beta will be running on testnet, so we will be definitely having all the blockchain integration ready, so we can test them out accordingly. We will be accepting any kind of bug bounty in regards of the game and everything else, and it will be rewarded with token allocation that can be claimed as the token and the game goes live.
Perfect. Amazing. And adding on to Greed's question, are there any governance tokens available for community members and NFT holders, allowing them to have a say in the game's governance and decision-making process?
The BloodLoop shard token is also used for governance. We don't have governance based on the amount of tokens you own, but based on the fact that you own tokens. So everyone has a single vote to make sure that the voting process is not weighted on top of how much money you have invested into the ecosystem, because we believe that will be complete bullshit. I mean, the biggest money should not also control the ecosystem. Of course, we will have a minimum token requirement to avoid people just buying one token and spamming votes. But in general, you will not have to be holding a huge bag to make sure that you can vote into the ecosystem. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about that. In terms of actually being able to vote per, wallet, I guess, instead of per tokens owned. A lot of, decentralized organizations and stuff, they always go based off of, token holding amount. But obviously, I'm sure you guys will figure out a way to stop people from just buying, like you said, one token and then sending it across several wallets. So moving on to our a second question from the community. Victor asks, with regards to your P2E game, not really a P2E, Victor, like Pascale was saying, but in regards to the game, will NFTs be used as characters in the game, and will the NFT have male or female preferences? I think part of this question has been answered already.
Sorry, I didn't get the question. I lagged for a couple of seconds. Can you repeat the last part, please? Sorry.
Basically, will there be male and female preferences for the characters?
You cannot create your own characters. The heroes are the characters that you use, and there are both female and males characters.
There you go, Victor. Hopefully that answers your question. Emmanuel asks, are there any plans to incorporate sponsored ads into the gameplay and generate extra revenue from them?
That's a very nice question, because it's actually something I forgot to mention. Yes, we plan on to integrating advertisement inside of the game, but in a kind of unique way. So basically, we're implementing advertisement in subtle ways inside of the maps. Let me give you an example so it's easier to understand. We have a map which is a city, for example. In that city, there are multiple stores with like the glass entrances where you can see the inside of the stores. And we can place posters on the storefronts of those stores. And those posters might be stylized version of a particular DeFi platform that wanted to advertise within the game. So you're seeing it as kind of a propaganda, but you're not really understanding what it is unless you really look at it. And subtly, you still get the message being vector, like the poster is becoming a good vector to transmit the message, because you see it that often that at some point you will definitely check out that product. And it's a subtle marketing advertisement that really works well in the marketing world. And we can easily implement it inside of the game with custom-made campaigns that will yield great results for the people willing to use it as an advertisement method.
Cool, yeah. I mean, this leads me on to a question, personal question from me, actually. We've seen a lot of events, like, for example, you were talking about Fortnite. We've seen a lot of sponsored events where it's like, Iron Man themed, or, movie themed, or stuff like that. Will there be potentially, obviously for now, maybe you can't say, but will there be kind of specific game modes like this, or kind of like sponsored events like that will be happening as maybe an additional stream of revenue?
We hope so. So there's no confirmed events right now, although we do have a great partnership coming on board, which sadly is under a huge NDA, which will get me in a lot of troubles if I disclose the name. But if you're a Counter-Strike Global Offensive player, you know who's organizing the biggest tournaments in the world around that. I'm just leaving it there. And the biggest ERL events. And we are talking with them, and we're going to be one of their lead game sponsors at their in-game, in real-life events all around the world. So definitely we're going to be seeing a lot of tournaments and sponsored tournaments, but I can't really disclose any more information about that now, because there's no plans already set up in stone, and what we have is under NDA. But yeah, definitely it's an option, and it's an opportunity we're going to be exploring.
Perfect. I mean, obviously, like you said, there's not everything that you can kind of lay out on the table straight away, but I'm definitely excited to see what you guys have in store in regards to that. Emmanuel also asks another question, similar to what we were talking about. Will there be in-game events like wheel spins and mystery box purchases to see if a gamer can get a rare NFT? and other prizes that can be used within the game?
So we will be having random cases in the game, but it's coming down a later stage because initially we want to make sure that the crafting system is bootstrapped based on user interest and what we want to craft and what not, so we can gauge the interest behind particular skins and particular way of making those skins, weapons, and stuff like that. But yes, we will be having random crates and we will be having level and tiered crates so that people can buy mystery boxes, and there's going to be airdrop of skins based on the rarity of the boxes and a series of parameters within dropping chances.
Perfect. Sorry, I'm just trying to scroll through and pick another question, but there's so many questions here, guys, that my Telegram is physically bugging out. Every time I scroll down, it bugs out and crashes. Bear with me just a moment.
Don't worry at all.
Okay, this is actually a really good question. Emerald asks, how does the existence of black markets for reselling in-game assets relate to the need for secure and legitimate ownership? And how does BloodLoop address this issue? And what specific blockchain technology is employed by BloodLoop to ensure secure and legitimate ownership of in-game assets?
The answer straight away is blockchain. So yeah, the existence of marketplaces for reselling items. So Counter-Strike again plays a very great example, with people cashing out their skins into crypto because there's no other way to profit on the skins. It's really the one of the main reason why we tackled the whole item ownership narrative. We truly believe that people want to monetize the time that they spend playing, and given that they don't have the opportunity to do so, they go to those shady marketplaces and shady black markets. I've bought myself gold in World of Warcraft more than once, and I've sent my money to a marketplace and I didn't know if I was getting the gold back, and I waited and waited and waited. I've sold myself skin of CSGO, and I've been rugged once from a CSGO casino which was holding my skins and rugged, and I didn't get the funds cashed out. So, there's a real need for that, because if people are that desperate to go with black market solution or opening black market solution, it means that there's really a need for that. And games are not making it easy, because by terms and service, you're not allowed to trade your assets for money. Otherwise, you're going to be banning your account, which is bullshit. We found the solution with blockchain. With blockchain, we have a public ledger storing all of the information. We can publicly move the assets from one user to another. It's all publicly tracked. There's no way for scamming. There's no way for, driving you into a scam of any sort, unless you fall for a phishing, of course. And the actual blockchain allows us to make sure that everything happens under the sunlight, and everything is smooth, fast, reliable, secure. We don't have to handle transaction of any kind of monetary value inside of a server, but we host everything on a public blockchain. And we can make sure that we have the full capability of executing this type of transaction, allowing users to get the best experience of it.
Amazing. Great questions and great answers everywhere. We'll ask a couple more questions and then we'll begin to wrap up with the question part of it. Wow.
If it's possible, Alan, while we're answering these last questions, if you want to screen share the sneak peek of the BloodLoop that was posted on YouTube, I think that would be pretty cool, because it definitely gives a perspective on what to expect from the game. I sent it in your DMs.
Of course, yeah. Just 1 second. Can you see this? Oh, wrong one. What? Share screen. Here we go. That's it. Yeah, sure. I don't know if we're allowed to show this. Are we allowed to show this?
Yes, you are. Don't worry.
Okay, because it's unlisted. But yeah, I'll do this on screen while we ask our next question. If Telegram will load for me.
If you see it lagging, it's because of the stream. Feel free to send the link also to your chat so people can see the video individually and watch it without any kind of issues or bugs.
Of course, yeah, that's actually a good thing to remind me of. Yeah, if you guys want to watch the video, I'll drop a link below here. We'll include it in our summary post in the end of the AMA as well, so don't worry about that. Hopefully Telegram will let me read another bloody question. Okay, this is a pretty good question. Will the team elaborate on the factors that determine the fee for crafting a skin, including skin rarity, market demand, and price fluctuations?
Yep. So once. Sorry, I got to sneeze. Yeah, the price. When you want to craft an item, you will have to pay a fee in token. That fee is fluctuating based on the price action of the token, based on the volume that we're seeing on the marketplace, based on the user activities around particular skins and on the marketplace. And it's basically an indexing price of all the health factors of the game, so that we can kind of gauge the actual price and tweak it around to come up to a point where the crafting price can vary and can set also a different price entry for crafting a token skin. So you might not be able to craft it in a day, but in a couple of weeks, maybe that crafting price goes down for a bit. People can take it as an arbitrage opportunity and can craft it up, and then they can sell the skins for even more, whilst they made the skin for less because the marketplace in that moment was asking for less. So we want to make sure that the entry points are for everyone and it's as fluctuating as possible, whilst of course keeping a stable price action, which is kind of relevant to the token itself. And also, if the token is in a dip, maybe we can make sure that the crafting price goes lower, so people are encouraged to craft more and can take the arbitrage opportunity of crafting skins that can be sold for more, paying the crafting for less. So it's everything made in a way that we can always kind of control and leverage the ecosystem as much as possible to make sure that everyone has fair opportunities and fair chances of making it inside of BloodLoop.
Perfect. I hope that answers your question, whoever asked that. Okay, this is also a good question. Gabby asks, what barriers or challenges in the blockchain gaming industry does BloodLoop aim to remove with its approach, and how does it enhance user accessibility?
Definitely, we want to become the bridge for Web2 to Web3. So we want to make sure that people can easily play the game without knowing anything about crypto. And that's where all of our technology and all the subnet stuff and everything I've talked about comes in. We made all of our technology from scratch. Everything in our game is proprietary and made in a way that we know that it will work for our product. We are not using any external providers and external wallet solution or stuff, because we know our game and we want to make sure that it reflects our expectation. We are here to make it so that the Web3 gaming world finally gets a good name, because the Web3 gaming right now is not seen as good as it should because of other players like Axie Infinity and similar, which kind of ruined the whole reputation of the space. And we are here to make sure that this thing is no more. We want to make sure that the ecosystem actually finally gets the recognition it needs, because we believe that Web3 gaming is the future of gaming, and leveraging blockchain will just give users more opportunity without disrupting their experience, or at least it will be happening in our game. I can't talk for everyone because there are still many games that are not doing it in the right way, and blockchain becomes a problem rather than a good factor in the product.
Amazing answer and amazing questions. Okay, I think we'll take Maybe just one or two more questions. Just conscious of time. Okay, Ade, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'm really sorry. We'll answer one of your four questions. Did you partner with a third-party company to make the game, or did the team build it themselves?
So the game is completely made from scratch, and it's made completely internally. We are not standing with any external outsourcing companies, although we do use outsourcing from time to time to make stuff like animations and small stuff that can be easily made outsourced and can speed up the development and lower the cost of itself. But everything is proprietary. We don't have any store-bought assets. We never outsource the creation of the base of the game. All the designs and everything is made in-house, coming from the experienced developers and artists that we have on board, which are coming from companies like Ubisoft, Gameloft, CI Games, and Play Games and stuff like that. So they are all experienced with AA and AAA production studios.
Perfect. We'll take one last question here, and we'll move on to our trivia. Uni. Again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name, but he asks, "What are the measures you have had to? What are the measures you've had to overcome the various challenges that you'll be?" I'm having a brain freeze here. And this question is worded so badly. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to reword this question. What kind of challenges and hurdles you had to overcome during the various stages of game development?
The main issue we had was raising funds, of course. We had no track record as a company, so we had to prove that we could execute. So we had to deploy initial MVPs before we even had funds to do that. Although we did get the angel investment quite easily thanks to our connection with that investor, but we still had to show him something. And to do so, we bootstrapped the development with basically just a couple of developers, and we had to make sure that everything was looking fine, working 20 hours a day. We went to our first event in Barcelona, which was the Avalanche Summit, because we were invited by the Avalanche team in April of 2022. And we had a game demo to let investors try at the event. Realized it was looking bad. We remade the whole demo in a night, me and Gabriele, which is our head of development, high on Red Bull and candies, and we literally spent the whole night awake rebuilding the game from scratch. But I'd say that's just the startup experience, and we had very much fun doing that. So the problems and the difficulties that we faced so far are really just kind of stones that you have to navigate around, because game development is not something linear. It's always a curve, and it gets harder and harder as you go by, because of course the polishing and the details, the balancement is the hardest part. But if you build solid foundation, as you grow, you will still face less and less problems. So we raised funds, we were able to build so far. We are closing an equity round now, which will allow us to keep on building games in general. And we have a solid team now. We had difficulties hiring because it's hard to find people to work for a company in the gaming sector, because it's very hard right now. Everyone is building games apparently, and there are a lot of vacant spots. So if you're looking for a career, look for video game development. That's a very big piece of advice. You will get paid quite a bit, and you will find job very easily. Because right now there's a complete lack of video game developers, like complete. And that was probably our biggest challenge, onboarding the team, because we wanted industry experts. We had to pay them cheap, of course, because we don't have millions and millions of dollars of budget. So we had to make sure that we spend money wisely. And we had to hire them fast. So it's been really a game of connection and ability to close deals with each and every employee.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, without shamelessly plugging my own project, and I know it's absolutely nothing compared to what BloodLoop is doing, but even when building my my project and my gambling game, it's so hard to find developers at the moment, and not even just at the moment, but just in general, because when you're building something, especially of the sheer scale of BloodLoop, you need to be working with the right people, and you need to be working with people that you can trust. And if you lack, I guess, the connections or knowledge in the industry specialists, like you said, game developers aren't something that are very easy to come by. They're very specific skills that you need, and they're not cheap either. Supply and demand, man. That's what it is. But I'm glad that you guys have at least managed to get the game to a point where you can start building, and clearly from this alpha footage that we can see, there's so much that you guys have been working on, and hopefully lots more to come.
Of course.
Amazing. Well, we'll move on to the Kahoot section of our AMA. I want to thank you, Pasquale, for your time and for answering all of these questions. I mean, this is definitely, from a personal standpoint, one of my favorite AMAs that we've done in a while. Just because there's so much to talk about, and I love when there's actual things to talk about in AMAs. A lot of the time, there's not just much to talk about with projects, but we can probably sit here for the next 2 hours and talk all about BloodLoop. Yeah. But let's be conscious of time, and hopefully the next time we have an AMA, we can play it live on VC.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
I'm very, very excited for that.
Absolutely. Well, if you don't mind me doing it, I would love to go about the closing remarks, just to get the people the information that they need about the game. So if you have enjoyed so far the AMA and you have enjoyed what I've talked about, first of all, thank you very much for staying all the way until now. We've been speaking for an hour and a half, and I've seen that the participation has been pretty consistent so far. So kudos to the team for building such a great community, and to the community for being so interested in the product. So feel free to stop by in our Telegram channels. You can find them linked in the AMA post, and also to stop by on our Twitter and our Discord servers. On Discord, we talk more into NFTs and gaming, the game itself, and on Telegram, you will find more of the financial aspect of the product. On Twitter, we post every day information about the product. We post breakdowns of the development, concept art, game art, game videos, sneak peeks of the production, so to keep you guys updated with what we're doing with BloodLoop. And last but not least, I really want to reiterate that I really appreciate you guys being here all the time, and I hope to see you all in our communities, in our Discord, in our Twitter, and possibly in our game once we launch.
Thank you very much, Pasquale. You're welcome to stay if you wish, if you're not happening to run anywhere for our Kahoot trivia.
I have a meeting in 4 minutes from now, so I will have to cut off and to get to the final meeting of today to finally get to sleep after that. But
no worries.
I will make sure to stick into the chat and to join your future AMAs, because again, you've been such a great host and your question has been very good. So I think I will manage to gather some very crucial info about upcoming projects. Sorry, I can't speak anymore from the chat.
Amazing. So, no worries, man. Remind me, are you in Switzerland at the moment?
No, I'm in Italy.
Oh, Italy. Oh, fantastic. Well, amazing. Well, thank you so much again for coming over, and I wish you best of luck, and we'll reconnect very soon, hopefully.
Thank you very much, guys. By the way, I forgot the most important thing. The sale starts tomorrow on Jumped. We have links in our communities. We will be sharing the link once it's live on our Twitter page as well. The contribution is in it, but the tokens will be dropped on AVAX as the game goes live. You don't have to do anything. The hard cap is 158, and the soft cap is 65, I believe. So feel free to join the sale, of course. We've talked about a lot about the kind of incentives you will be getting, so I hope to see you guys in the sale as well. Okay, that's my closing remark. I will be going now. Thank you very much, man.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Wow. What a beautiful, beautiful AMA so far. We're not finished yet, though, guys. On to our final segment of our Kahoot section. Wow. An hour and a half of straight questions and answers. What did you guys think of Pasquale? He definitely sounds very, very eager and very excited about their project. I definitely think it is super cool. A little bit annoying, the fact that the kind of tokens are vested in a way, I think. But I think it's very healthy for the project and their kind of systems and how everything works. So very excited to see how they do. Well, we'll wrap up here with our Kahoot. So if you guys are new here and you don't know how to play, all you have to do is head to www.kahoot.it and type in this game pin, or or scan this QR code if you're on PC and you have a phone near you. Or if you are even more lazy, all you have to do is go to the comment section below here and click on this link to the Kahoot. It will send you directly over to there where you guys can join up. Remember to join with your Telegram usernames. Please, only join with your Telegram username, just like XGreed is good. Otherwise, if you win, I can't give you your prize because there's a lot of shady people out there, a lot of bad actors, a lot of people that try to pretend who's who. But yeah, do join up. Once we've got around 20-30 people in here, we'll get going with it. So yeah, make sure you join up. I'm not going to post the link in the main channel because we've posted enough today, but do head over to that link in the comment section and join up. I think I am on the wrong tab here. Looking at other coins I've just been shilled. But yeah, do join up, guys. I'll leave it open for another minute or so for you guys to join up if you wish. Free money, remember, guys, free money. All right, guys, I'll reiterate. All you have to do is click the link in the comment section below. More time to join. Your network is laggy. Okay. One more minute. One last minute. Not going to give you any more time than that because we've got to get this show on the road. All right, guys. 10 more seconds here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, we are getting started up here. I muted the side by accident. Okay, BloodLoop, onto our first question of the day. Remember, guys, we're going to be doing a duck race giveaway at the end, so stay to the end. Which of the following statements best describes BloodLoop? Which is the best? And obviously the first 5v5 hero shooter game built leveraging Web3 technology. Although a better version of Valorant and Counter-Strike that utilizes the blockchain isn't very far off, to be honest. It is pretty much a better version combined, which I quite like, personally. Valorant wasn't much my favorite game, but I think they will do very, very well. On to question 2. The scoreboard is looking pretty decent right now. Let's see what question 2 has in store. What game modes will BloodLoop have to offer? Very, very easy question here. We spoke about this during the AMA. You guys should know this. Oh man, you guys should know this. Super easy. And 3/4 of the above. Not all of the above. They don't have a capture the flag team. Game mode. It's only Energy War, Free for All, and Team Deathmatch. So keep that in mind. Scoreboard changing in question 2. Greed up the top here. See you the next question. BloodLoop will likely be releasing 12 initial customizable heroes, with each of them having 3 unique in-game abilities. You guys know this, man. I don't have to repeat it. You know it. And it's true. No one getting that wrong. That is what I like to see. That is what I like to see, people. Very, very nice. Let's keep going here. Question 4. After each match, players are not rewarded with materials that can be used in the crafting process to create skins. They are not rewarded. And it's false. It looks like 6 of you guys fell to the are not rewarded part of it. They are rewarded, so it is false. Let's see who fell for it. And the scoreboard drastically changes. Wow. Let's see what question 5's got. BloodLoop's upcoming Gempad seed raise will have a soft cap of blank ETH and a hard cap of blank ETH. This was mentioned towards the end of the AMA. Oh my god. Please don't tell me I've been muted this whole time. Was I muted this whole time? Oh my god. And nobody told me. Nice. And absolutely nobody told me. For fuck's sake. Okay, well. My apologies, guys. I'm terribly, terribly sorry. I have been muted this whole time by mistake. But congratulations to our winners. We're not done yet, though. Don't you worry, we're not finished yet. We have one last giveaway to do. And that is our brand new Degen Duck Race giveaways. So for those of you that know Degen Duck Race, you're in for a good time. For those of you that don't, no worries, because it's super easy. So I'm gonna walk you guys through in just a moment. For those of you that know, Degen Duck Race is my own gambling project over on BSC. And so what we'll be doing in these AMAs is that we'll be doing giveaways in every single AMA that we do. We'll be doing a free Degen Duck Race giveaway. All you have to do is pay for the gas fee, and you have a chance at winning. So I'll get that link out for you guys in just a moment. The giveaway is going to be called CryptoFrog's AMA X BloodLoop. The max participants, how many people we got in here? We got 116 people in here. I'm sure we can fill at least 75. So let's do 75. $75 max participants. The giveaway prize is going to be 0.1 BNB. It's about $21 at the moment. And we're going to have just one winner. And so I'll post the link here shortly. So, if you guys are on VC currently, have a look at my screen. It's just loading the game at the moment. So, all you have to do is, I will copy this link and post it down in the channel here. Join our Duck Race giveaway here. How to join? Click the link above. Click join wallet. Click join race. Connect your wallet and confirm the join transaction. There you go. All right, guys, just head over to the link that I just posted in the channel. If you can't join or the website doesn't load, turn off AdBlock and antivirus software. Boom. So head over to the channel, click on that link, or alternatively just go to race.ddr.bet nothing. Head to the giveaway section and then click join race on this race. There's only 75 spots and these are going to be filled very, very quickly. So make sure you join up before they get filled up. Already 17 spots are filled and only going to be quicker. I'm going to mute my keyboard here. Sorry. All right, guys, we got 25 people in this race so far. Only 50 spots remaining, so share it around to your friends. Let's get as many people in here as possible. Remember, it's basically free money. Just under 50 spots remaining, so get in there while you can. In the meantime, let's pick our best question and also get a, best question. Okay. So, who do you guys think was the best question? I want to hear it from you guys today. Who do you think had the best question? I think there were too many questions to say there's a best one. However, let's have a look. To be honest, I quite like the one about the black markets. To be honest, it's very out of the box. How does existence of black markets for reselling in-game assets relate to the need for secure and legitimate ownership? I like that. Biggest obstacle one was quite cool, but pretty basic. Oh, we should have asked this question, about the single token. Yeah, so many questions we could have asked, but such little time. And we finished just on time with just like 4 minutes to go before the dev had to run. So, here, this will be our best question for today. You guys will find out when we post up our summary. All right, guys. Let's get this giveaway race filled up. 40 spots remaining. All right, well, I will let this duck race fill up. In the meantime, unfortunately, I do have to run. It is almost 10 p.m. for me right now, so I will have to run, but you guys can join this race at any time, and once the race is full, the race will start automatically. So I wish you guys all best of luck. Like I said, share that race around, get as many of your friends in as possible. Yeah, we shall check in and see you guys very, very soon. As always, my DMs are open if anyone has any questions or any kind of queries. And yeah, pleasure as always. So take care, guys, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.